is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor, as well as education advisor, coming live from the beautiful city of Hamilton here in New Zealand. Like every week, it is my Tuesday routine now for me to come live on Facebook as well as on YouTube and speak to all you beautiful, wonderful people out there who are looking at considering New Zealand options. And my awesome team and I, we are about 35 people spread across New Zealand and India, and we now have one of our colleagues working out of the US as well. Yeah, we are all there, all 35 of us, to give you the best information we can about New Zealand as a destination, whether you're looking at coming to New Zealand on a temporary basis or on a more permanent basis. And the reason I come live week after week on Facebook and on YouTube and share this information with all of you is because I have that thing in my wallet, which is called a license from the government of New Zealand. And that is a license given to me by somebody called the Immigration Advisors Authority of New Zealand, which is a government department. And what the IAA, as it is called in short form, does is that it regulates the immigration advice industry in New Zealand. And there was a time, before 2007, where everybody and anybody was randomly claiming to be experts on providing information on moving to New Zealand. And as New Zealand kept growing in popularity as a destination, and more people were wanting to come into New Zealand, the government of New Zealand realized that they need to regulate this industry and have people who are qualified and well trained and have the experience and the credentials to be able to provide good immigration advice to clients like all of you who were keen to look at New Zealand as a destination. So they came out with an act of parliament in 2007, and so that was the act by which they established the Immigration Advisors Authority. And the other people now, the government department that kind of keeps giving out these licenses, and it's not easy to get that license. You'll have to first do that course there, which is called the Graduate Certificate in New Zealand Immigration Advice. Now they're calling it the Graduate Diploma in New Zealand Immigration Advice. But when I did it, and I was actually the last batch, it was still called the Graduate Certificate in New Zealand Immigration Advice. But yeah, hey, look, nowadays the graduate diploma, plus you also need to get your police clearance to show that you're of good character and that you are fit to be able to provide immigration advice to people who are wanting to come to New Zealand. So that's the way it works. So there are three licensed advisors in our company, AJV Services, which is based here in Hamilton, New Zealand. And so there's myself, and then there's our senior manager Mary, who also lives in Hamilton, and then we have another colleague called Gisela, who is based out of Auckland. So we are the three licensed immigration advisors here in New Zealand. And then we have a set of our colleagues also getting ready to do the graduate diploma in New Zealand immigration advice and get their licenses as well. So yeah, I expect in about a couple of years' time that will be about 5 to 10 licensed advisors in the company. And yeah, we are all about geared up to help you guys and girls who want to consider coming to New Zealand. And right, we had a bit of a hitch today when I started coming live, because normally I come live on our Facebook page, which is called AJV Global. And I also come live on my personal channel on YouTube called Arun Jacob. Um, and unfortunately, today when I went onto the Facebook page to go live, I realized that the live but go live button was missing. So I'm not sure if Facebook is doing a bit of a tweak. And yeah, so I couldn't see the live button, and so I'm going live on our group called NZ Options, which is very popular, by the way. And there are, I think, about 18,500 people who are very actively involved in this group on Facebook, and of course on my channel on YouTube as well. There are quite a lot of, I think there are almost about 15,000 subscribers there. So thank you everybody for your wonderful love and affection to follow my work and that of my beautiful team, which by the way is probably one of the most happening themes for promoting New Zealand anywhere in the world, because not only do we have a solid group of advisors who are extremely familiar with New Zealand education and migration processes, but we also have on our team about 6 people who used to work with the immigration department of New Zealand earlier, and now they have come and joined our team, and we are very happy to have them on our team, and makes us feel very solid as a team, because there's this massive amount of knowledge and experience that comes in with these professionals who were trained by the government of New Zealand. And then when there was a bit of a shake up inside the immigration New Zealand, and then they started closing down a few branches across the world, some of them reached out to us and said, hey, look, can we work with you guys, because we like the work you're doing? And we said, yeah, absolutely, come join the party, and let's all come together and put our combined strength towards making New Zealand a better place by attracting top quality migrants and students into this beautiful country. So that's really what the agenda is for us. And because it's a new format, I'm not sure if there are a lot of people asking any questions. And hey, look, Jyoti, if you're watching this, Jyoti is one of my colleagues. You'll have to start pasting some of the YouTube queries onto our group, because I can't see any questions at this stage. I can just see, yeah, there I can see there are some questions being asked. And the first question is from Kishan Prajapati, who asks, and he has shared his number. So thanks, Kishan, for that. Hey, look, everybody who's wanting to ask me a question, kindly share your number so that we can connect with you later after the session is over. And if you are an AJV student or client, kindly identify yourself as an AJV student, because then I can be selfish and give you more information, because absolutely this session is for our AJV clients first and foremost. But if there are other people who are joining in and asking questions, we'd be happy to answer those questions. But in return, we would want to have your contact number. So no contact number, no answer, guys. So kindly share your question, but also ensure that there is a contact number. So the first question is from Kishan Prajapati. Who says, hey, sir, I have no 6-month-old fund for showing in visa, and I'm not eligible for loan as well. So what I can do for need visa? I mean, hey, look, Kishan, the answer is inside your question, actually, because if your funds are not 6 months old, then obviously you will need to wait those extra few months before those funds actually become 6 months old. But if you are applying for an intake, I mean, which might be, let's say, next month, and in case they are you don't have an option to go for an intake afterwards, um, then I would say check with us. You've given your number. I'm not sure if you're applying through us, but what we can do is we can look into the source of your funds. And sometimes the funds may be sitting in your bank account and maybe less than 6 months. But if we are able to kind of ascertain the history and the track record of where those funds came from, then possibly we can build a case and present it to Immigration New Zealand and ask them to consider it, because obviously there was age on those funds, but maybe not necessarily in the new deposit you've made. But hey, look, like I said, we are a absolutely super strong team, and we are very professional in the way we present our applications and cases to Immigration New Zealand. So we can stitch that case together and put it forward to them. So if you're working with AJV, we will do it anyway. But if you're not working with AJV, hey, look, you've shared your number, so we will give you a call and talk to you. But I mean, obviously, we are a business and not a charity. And my team has just confirmed that you're actually not working with AJV at this moment, Kishan. So we will talk to you and we will try and find a solution for you. But we would absolutely appreciate if you decide to work with us, because working with AJV means not only will you get the best professional advice and service while you're still in your country. And I'm guessing you're from India from your name. But the most important thing that happens when you guys and girls work with AJV is that after you land in New Zealand, there is always us. There is a problem. All you guys have to do is pick up your phone and give me a call, or give my colleague Mary a call, or Gisela, or Virginia, or we're a big bunch of people here in New Zealand. And because we are just like all of your aspiring migrants, we are also migrants who came to New Zealand, and we understand that coming in means that you need a really good coach in this country as much as you need a good coach in your country to get the admission and visa done. But after you land here is really when the real drama starts. And when that real drama starts of settling in, accommodation, part-time jobs, networking, further visa information, any problems with legal stuff, and all those, you really require a friend. You need a buddy. You require a coach. You need a guide. You need a counselor. And that's where we guys are, kind of trying to be very different as compared to a lot of other companies, because we are truly and genuinely wanting to be your friends and your buddies and help you after you come to New Zealand. So, Kishan, I hope I've answered your question, even if it was a little long-winded. But hey, look, those are the advantages you have of working with us. So, yeah, cool. I hope you'll consider working with HJB, and I promise you, you will absolutely have a much better and smoother sailing in New Zealand after you get here. All right, cool. Thank you. Rexy Susan Matthew asks, and Rexy has not shared her um, number, but she asks, spouse has a job and immigration is being handled by an advisor arranged by the company. Do you help with information on just job opportunities without other services? Unfortunately, no, Rixie. As I told you, we are an end-to-end organization. We would like to speak to you from the day the thought enters your head that you want to go to New Zealand till the day you actually come into New Zealand and attain that final goal of getting your resident visa or your permanent residency. So that's the kind of work we like to do, Rixie. Unfortunately, we don't like to do this piecemeal work, of just helping you with the job opportunities, because you're already working with some other advisors. So our USP, or unique selling proposition, or our claim to being better than other organizations and companies, is that we are this absolute end-to-end solution provider. So unfortunately, we can't pick and choose small bits and pieces, but we do offer a piecemeal service to those some people who are looking at a visa. For instance, a lot of students who have already started their process through some other agency realize that a spouse work visa cannot be processed by that agency because they do not have licensed advisors, so they do come to us. So yeah, in certain instances we do provide those services, like doing the spouse visas. But unfortunately, on the job opportunities, that's something we kind of do exclusively for our students, and we help them to net and our clients, and we help them to network with our existing students and clients. In fact, one of my ex clients and students is working for one of the largest recruitment firms here in New Zealand. So we often refer our students and clients to her, or we kind of network them to other people who are already in the particular industry where the new aspirant is seeking an opportunity. So yeah, man, that's the way we guys are working. So all the best, Rexy. I hope whichever advisor you're working with will help you guys to also give you that end-to-end solution. We are not providing that at the moment. All right, cool. I mean, I don't mean the end-to-end. I mean the piecemeal work. All right. As always, my wonderful team also supports me through Skype. So yeah, I mean, they were very, very, very good at identifying people who are working with us and giving my little tips to ensure that. Cool. Next question. Funny videos. Okay, that's a funny name. Sir, I'm planning to study in New Zealand, so suggest me which course is best after 12th. Is horticulture course is good for me. All right. Funny videos. Good name, by the way. I don't know what your real name is, but thanks for sharing your number, and my team will get in touch with you, and we will speak to you later. But hey, look, after your 12th, you have two options. You can consider doing a 2-year diploma in New Zealand, or you could consider doing a 3 years bachelor's in New Zealand, because you're obviously just finishing your 12th and you're wanting to kind of move up to the next stage. My recommendation to you is if you are able to afford it and your family has got the background and the financial ability to support you for a 3 years bachelor's, absolutely you must go for a bachelor's, because a 3 years bachelor's will also give you a further 3 years post study work visa. And in those first 3 years that you spend as a student here in New Zealand, you would also be doing part-time work and stuff, and so you kind of become very, very Kiwiized, if I can use a word like that. I just made up that word, but you get very Kiwiized, and by the time you're done with those 3 years of your degree, you're like, wow, I'm like, you become one with the fabric of New Zealand, and then you will actually have a legitimate 3 years post-study work visa in your hand as well. And so that kind of preps you and puts you on the right platform to be able to go out into the job market and start seeking the real opportunities. And in those 3 years that you've been a student, you've also been working part time and picking up some experience, and you're probably picking up some references and creating your network. So overall, it kind of really, really builds the right platform for you. Whether you should take up horticulture or not depends on your real interest and also what you did in your 12th, because obviously if let's say you've done civics, economics, commerce in your 12th, so horticulture may not be the right fit for you because you do not have a science background, and horticulture essentially would come under botany. So it would be ideal to have some amount of science background. So depends on what you did on in your 12th funny videos. So when my team connects with you, please share all your background information and share how much percentage you got. And if you've already written any English tests like IELTS or PTE, just go ahead and share that information. And all that put together will help us create your profile. And then based on that profile, we'll be able to suggest the right solution for you. But yeah, I mean, horticulture is a great subject to choose, but provided you have a genuine interest in it and also you have the background to be able to get into a horticulture course. All right, cool. I have answered that question. And when my team connects with you guys and girls, don't hesitate to talk to them. I know most of you, especially because a lot of our clients come from India. I know you're absolutely hounded and harassed by various telecallers asking you to buy everything from a pen to an aeroplane. So I understand the kind of pressure you work with in India or some of the other countries where our clients are coming from. But hey, look, because you're reaching out and we want to reach back to you, when my team connects with you, just pick up the phone and speak to them and have a good, open, honest discussion. We are not those pushy salespeople who will then come and sit on your head and insist you have to come to New Zealand, because we are absolutely not in that game. We are a New Zealand-based professional organization whose job it is to put good, honest information in front of you, and what you do with that information is your call entirely. We will respect whether you decide to come to New Zealand and work with us, and then want to take our, services and advice. We'd gladly assist you. But if you say, hey, look, thank you for all that wonderful information, but it doesn't fit my plans right now, and I'd rather not go to New Zealand. So be it. Just continue to follow our work on Facebook and YouTube and keep sharing it with your friends and family, and we'll be more than happy about it. All right, guys. So that's the give and take. And for those of you who are based in India or anywhere else, if you guys want to get in touch with us, that's what you guys have to do. Actually, I was supposed to make this a more permanent. Okay, maybe I should just leave it like that, because one of my colleagues, senior colleagues who joined our team recently, said, "Hey, look, as good as you're showing that placard is to talk about our numbers, it'll be nice if it is permanently displayed when you're talking on Facebook or on YouTube." I'm yet to figure it out, and I've actually been a little lazy, so I need to probably make something, or maybe just get a T-shirt with that caption where you guys can call us. But hey, look, we guys set up a toll-free number in India for our clients, because we get a majority of our clients from India at the moment. So that's our toll-free number. If you're not from India, just send us an email with your contact details to info@ajvglobal.com. And if you're already in New Zealand and you're looking for any further visas like a spouse work visa or extension of your visas, or you're looking for essential skills work visa or a resident visa, then the person to call is my wonderful colleague and fellow licensed advisor, Mary Joseph, who is a phenomenal colleague and has also got brilliant amount of knowledge about this industry. All right, so she is the first port of call. She will get the calls and then kind of gather some information and then discuss with me or with Gisela or with some of our other senior colleagues, and we'll come back to you with the Absolute right solution. All right, guys. Cool. Next. Okay. Radio. Toss Boss. Again, another very nice name, Toss Boss. Okay. Hey, Toss Boss. His question is it mandatory to get a manager level job in order to apply for residency? I just got my 3-year work visa and they shared this number. Hey, Tos, absolutely not. I mean, it is a misconception from people who do not have good advisors, like our students, for instance. I mean, I don't think you're one of our students, but our students who come to New Zealand through HIV absolutely pick up the phone and give us a call. In fact, I get calls in the middle of the night, So yeah, no problem. We're happy to. So it's a misconception that you always need to get a managerial position to be able to apply for a resident visa. Absolutely not true. So I would recommend you email your whatever your current job you have to that one there at the bottom to immigration advisor, or just connect with Mary and share some details. She can tell you whether you can go ahead with it. All right. So I mean, it's quite clear that you're not an AJV student, because if you were one of our clients, by now you would have got all the information anyway. And it's all free, guys. Free information from good, professional, friendly, frank, licensed advisors like myself and Mary and Gisela. So yeah, you guys, if you're smart and you want to come and do really well in New Zealand, you've got to choose and work with AJB. All right, cool. That was my little 20 seconds plug about working for us. Amrit Sharma. Hello, I have checked highly occupation skill list. It doesn't show public health science. Is it really worth doing PG diploma and the same? Hey, Amrit, this is again quite a commonly asked question. By now, frankly, I can kind of, if somebody comes and taps me in the middle of the night and wakes me up from my sleep, I could probably just reel back these answers. But the fact of the matter is that, hey, look, not every occupation or every course is going to be in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. That does not mean that there are no future opportunities for that particular course. For instance, from our statistics of the number of students we work with, and we've been around for quite a number of years. I've been working in the industry for almost 15 years now. There are a lot of students who come for courses like, just a generic postgraduate diploma in business, for instance. And, that is also not in the long-term skill shortage list. But a lot of them, especially if they have the right attitude, skills, and knowledge and English communication, are able to go and procure a job and then move into an essential skills work visa or into a resident visa. So it's an absolute misnomer to think that you only have to come to New Zealand to do a course that is in the long-term skills shortage list. Do not fall for that, especially if there is an unprofessional advisor suggesting that's what you got to do. You got to instead check with people like us, and we'll give you, tons of references, or in fact, hey guy, of people who've come for non-LTSSL courses and still done very well in New Zealand, and today are either residents or citizens, or doing quite well. So Amrit, I don't think you should kind of be perturbed about not doing, because health science is a good course, like any society in New Zealand requires health professionals. It is just a question of what particular course in health sciences you're going to choose, because sometimes it's also the course that's important, because there are certain courses which may not be as occupation orientated or job orientated as some other courses would be. So check with us and we'd be happy to help you with it. All right, Amrit, and when my team calls, kindly spend some time, good quality time, and speak to them, and ensure that you're getting some good feedback from them and some good honest information. Okay, Jack BD. Okay, radio. I have a question from Jack, and Jack says, um, Jack, I'm just reading some feedback that my team has given about your particular situation. So I'm going to answer your question in just a moment. Okay. Cool. Okay. So Jack says, hi, I'm a student of AJB. However, they refused me without taking my interview, and also arise question about my job experience, which is not relevant. Can you please check it? Hey, Jack, even while you speak and while you paste your query, I have a nice big explanation from my colleague, and she is a team leader in our team called Navya. So that's a nice big feedback that Navya has given me. Navya, by the way, is an ex-immigration officer who worked with the Immigration Department of New Zealand in their Delhi branch, and now works with AJV services. We are very happy to have her on board, of course. And she says that it got declined because one of the concerns was credibility of the work experience documents. And I think Nabia has already, or our team has already conveyed to you that it's necessary for you to give us some more work experience documentation, and they're preparing you or your file to be able to put it back into the system again, and that apparently you also conveyed to confirm to the team that you're going to get some more documents and give it back to us. Jack, it does happen. We are not on 100% visa success rate at this stage. We are above 90%, but unfortunately sometimes there is this odd case where it does get declined, and it's not always mandatory that visa officer has to first call you and only then decline. There is no written protocol which says that interviews are a must. Sometimes they do take the just the number of the documents that are in front of them, and then they take a look at it. And unfortunately, it seems that there was a bit of a gap somewhere in your work documents, and so which is the reason they doubted the credibility. So, but we will work with you because hey, look, Jack, the simple matter of the fact is that we would not have taken up your case unless and until we were absolutely convinced that you were a genuine student. And sometimes even for genuine students, they do hit this wall with the immigration department, where I mean, hey, look, you've got to take it into consideration that an immigration officer is also just another human being, and human beings can have human errors, and sometimes his or her assessment may not have been as good as it was supposed to be. So we will file it again, and we will push for it, and we will ensure that is pushed much more strongly this time. And one of the good things about the processes within Immigration New Zealand is that if a file is put back into the system, by and large, they don't give it to the same officer who dealt with it before, and it goes to a new officer. So there's a new, fresh perspective on it, and things like that. And also because you've been such a wonderful and loyal client to us, from my side today in this live session, I'm going to tell you that we will take care of your filing fee for the second time. Consider it on the house. We will do it from our side. So you please go ahead and talk to Sonia, who is your case officer. And if you want to speak to a senior officer, there is also Navya as well. And yeah, just go ahead and give us the documents that we are looking at, and we will put it back. And from my side, just as a gesture of saying thank you for being loyal to AJV and deciding to work with us, this time your application fee is on me. All right, cool, Jack. Thank you. Right. Okay. Jack says, I'm so upset. I understand. It's never a good thing to lose a visa. I once had a visa rejected when I applied for a visa back in, I think, 2000, around the early 2000s, when I applied for a US visa. I got rejected. And I know I absolutely understand that feeling of frustration and anger and bitterness. So, completely with you on this, Jack. And I tell you, we are going to fight this out, and by and large, when we put a file back and we go back with more information, they are a bit more onto it, and give it another look. And like I said, we have the expertise to escalate it, and in case we are still not happy with the outcome, we will keep pushing it up the ladder. All right, Jack, so don't worry, we'll fight for you. But like I said, sometimes it's just human error, or some other procedural problem, and we just have to roll with the punches, as they say. So yeah, that's the way it is. Anurag Paudel says, how true is it? I don't know about what. Right. Shahul Faisal asked me a question, but no telephone number there, so I might have to ignore that. Sorry, Shahul. Guys, I'll need your telephone numbers if you want me to give my time and effort and with this poor throat of mine to work for you. You will have to give me a telephone numbers. All right? Cool. Damara Bandara. Okay, cool. Because Damsara Bandara says, hey, I have contacted through Catherine because Damsara already has not shared this number. He's already in connection. I am talking to one of my colleagues called Catherine. Great, thanks, Damsara. And he says, hey, I have contacted through Catherine. I'm from a supply chain management background. I'm looking for masters in management. What are the good universities offering master's program in business management? Lots of good universities, Damsara. In fact, where I live in the city called Hamilton, we have this university called University of Waikato. Excellent university, great, fantastic business course. So that's something that comes at the top of my mind right away. But then, hey, Victoria University of Wellington is fantastic. University of Otago is fabulous. Lincoln would have some fantastic management courses. So would University of Canterbury, AUT University would have some fantastic courses. So because you're already in touch with us, what we will do is, and you're already in touch with Catherine, she'll put all these options in front of you. My recommendation to you, Damsara, is all of them. I mean, no university will offer a bad course, and my team also tells me that you're looking at a 2021 intake. So you're really the kind of guy who's preparing early on. Good for you. Fantastic. Yeah, better early than never. Yeah, why not? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll put all these options in front of you. And the way to choose a course, because all of them will be good courses. I mean, no university will deliberately put out a bad course. So what I would recommend is sit with us, because you also have a lot of time, because you're only looking at the 2021 intake. So I would say, hey, look, sit down with those papers of each of the courses, and sometimes they talk back to you. When you look at a particular set of papers, it talks back to you, and that's the kind of course you need to take, because it's kind of pinging on something deep inside you. So yeah, go for that, Damsara. But hey, look, thanks for choosing AJB. Really appreciate it, Damsara. We've already had a lot of wonderful clients from Sri Lanka, and we would love to add you to that. All right, cool. Hey guys, by the way, as I keep saying in each and every one of my broadcasts, we are not a company that works only with Indian clients. Yes, we love working with our Indian clients and students, because majority of our students and clients are coming from India at the moment, about 80-85%. But then the rest of them are also coming from across the globe. We are getting students from Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Europe, South America, North America, Africa, Southeast Asia, you name it. We are getting our students and clients from everywhere. So please do not categorize us as an Indian agency working only with Indian clients. We are not. We are a New Zealand company. I'm a true New Zealander who is sitting here talking to you as a New Zealander who carries the New Zealand citizenship and passport. And so we are a Kiwi company, and we cater to any good person of good skills, attitude, and knowledge who wants to consider making New Zealand as your temporary or long-term destination. And we are all about serving New Zealand interests and attracting the best talent we can to come into this beautiful country. All right, so please do not categorize AJV as a company that only works with Indians. But hey, look, if you're from India, and we love working with our Indian clients as much as we work with anybody else. For Indian clients, because there are majority at the moment, we've set up a I was about to say duty free. Okay, not duty free, toll free number. And but those the rest of you can just email it to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will pick it up. Just make sure that you send us your contact details in it, because and doesn't matter which part of the world you're in, guys. My team, whether we're based in New Zealand or India or wherever, we'll just pick up the phone and connect with you. Say hi to you, and then perhaps we can then move into some other mode of communication like Skype or Facebook or IMO or Viber or whatever else you guys are working on. All right, cool. Okay. Good. Big long question from Ahmad Yusuf. No number, so I'll have to skip that. Rohit Bharadwaj asks, sir, what's the criteria of an MBA getting direct permanent residency? Hey, Rohit, it doesn't matter if you're an MBA or a master's in technology or whatever. The two important criteria that you necessarily need to tick before you uh, even contemplate applying for residence in New Zealand, and a lot of you tend to call it permanent residence, PR, which comes a little later. First, you've got to apply for a resident visa, and then after 2 years of being a resident is when you could become a permanent resident, which by and large is kind of just a natural flow. But so I quite see why a lot of you keep tending to use the word PR. But two of the most important criteria that you've got to fulfill, or one of them at least, is that you should have skilled employment in New Zealand or an offer of skilled employment in New Zealand, or you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years, and you should have gotten yourself a qualification which is either a level 9 master's or a level 10 PhD. So you've got to take necessarily, I mean, absolutely mandatorily have to take one of these conditions before you can even make something called the expression of interest, which is the first step towards kind of gaining residence in New Zealand. So if you do not have an offer of skilled employment in New Zealand or skilled employment in New Zealand, or you haven't studied here for 2 years and don't have a master's or a PhD, then really you will not be eligible to apply directly for a resident visa. I mean, you could. And then what happens is if you match the other criteria and and you need to get 160 points, which is a kind of combination of your age, your qualifications, and a lot of other things. I'll not get into the too much detail at this stage, but if you do get to those 160, but you don't have one of those two ticks, then sometimes the Immigration Department of New Zealand might consider giving you something called the skilled migrant category job search visa, where you can come into New Zealand, and normally it's for a year, and you can get into New Zealand, and you can actually get out with a valid work visa in your passport or an e-visa, and you can go out, start looking for jobs. And when you find a job relevant to your past qualification and experience, then obviously you now have skilled employment in New Zealand and tick off one of those conditions. So that's the way it works. So unfortunately, I mean, it's very, very difficult for a lot of people to get even the skilled migrant category job search visa, which is where I think the other pathway has become very, clear, which is that, you come into New Zealand, study for a year, and if you do a 1 year master's in New Zealand, you could end up with a 3 years post-study work visa. And in those 3 years, you can find yourself a relevant job. And even in that 1 year when you're studying, you're still able to do part-time work and earn some money and take care of your living expenses. And after you complete the course, you will get a 3 years post-study work visa. So depending on what level of course you've done a PG diploma or a master's, you might get a 3 years post-study work visa. If you're doing something a little lower than that, you might get a 2 year post-study work visa. So I think because it's kind of become very difficult now for a lot of people, unless and until you have like 10 plus years of work experience and in one of our long-term skill shortage areas, you will not get anywhere close to applying for their resident visa. And which is why this study plus settle pathway becomes fantastic as a solution, because like I said, it's a small investment to make for a long time future in a beautiful country like New Zealand. And I can tell you that that investment you're making, you will actually take care of your living expenses while you're working, while you're studying in New Zealand, because you'll end up picking up some part-time job or the other. And after you complete it, and you're getting your 3 years or 2 years or 1 year post-study work visa, you would absolutely be able to earn back whatever investment you made. And in the process, you might also find that right job at the right level and the right salary, and also be able to get your residency. So it's a fantastic option, and that's the reason we encourage as an organization, as a company, to a lot of people. In fact, a lot of people keep asking, why do you guys keep suggesting the study plus settle pathway? Why can't you help us directly with residency? Because the rules are not permitting it. That's the simple answer. If the rules were permitting it, we would happily, take you guys on and say, hey, look, let's go. Because for us, it doesn't matter whether we send you in, we suggest the study and settle pathway, or we suggest the skilled migrant category pathway. For us, and at the end of the day, we will still earn our revenue. But we also have to work within the box where how the rules are set, and the rules are not permitting it at the moment. And that's the reason, guys, often my team and I, we keep suggesting, hey, look at the study plus settle pathway. Especially if you're married, I think it's beautiful, because one of you can come in as the student and the other one can come in on the full-time work visa from day one. And it's phenomenally well set, that whole structure and the pathway. So hey, look, keep talking to us, and we'll keep devising those personal solutions for each one of you, depending on your backgrounds, and whether you're married or you're single, and and kids and stuff. All right, cool. Right, next question. Sanjay Kanparia says, I shared the number. Thanks, Sanjay. I passed PT 7 band and H. Good score. Uh, you mean IELTS, I think, anyway. And I did BTech in architecture from India, and I'm interested to master in architect in Wellington. So, what's the process, and is it possible to get any scholarship? Hey, Sanjay, fantastic background and great aspiration. It's lovely you already have a BTech in architecture from India, and now we're looking at. And I like the fact that you seem to have done some research and you've kind of keyed in on Victoria University at Wellington, which by the way has got a fantastic architectural school of architecture. And so yeah, good choice. And there might be some scholarships. I can't think of it at the top of my mind. There might be something. I'm not sure. But because you've shared your number, our team will get in touch with you, Sanjay, and check to see if there are certain scholarships that are available for your subject and from that particular university. Or and my team will also check to see if it's possible in some other institution. But hey, look, strongly endorse the Victoria University at Wellington. Beautiful institution, and Wellington is a really, really cool place. And we're very fond. As a family, my family and I, we love Wellington. And my kids keep saying, "Hey, Dad, after I grow up, I'm going to go to Victoria University at Wellington to do their higher studies." So yeah, absolutely, I endorse your judgment on the subject as well as on the institution and the level of course as well. Very good choices. And your last choice should be to work with AJV, and we will be there for you guys, for you, Sanjay, throughout your journey. And yeah, I think excellent. And as far as the process is concerned, when my team gets in touch, they will connect with you and tell you what needs to be done. Obviously, it starts by collecting your documents and then putting it forward for admission. And then once you get the offer, it goes into the next stage, which is getting the visa. And our team is absolutely very, very well prepped to help you with each and every aspect of your journey, and not just while you're in India. Especially after you land here in New Zealand, we would be delighted to continue to be associated with you and be your counselor and your guide and your friend, and help you to keep moving forward. All right, cool. Okay, Ahmed Mahfouz says, what about for technology job opportunity in future in New Zealand? Shares a number. I cannot recognize from which country that it is, but I'm sure I'm checking to see if my team has given me any suggestions. Nothing yet. I seem to be doing really well. Thank you, team. No comments from you guys means that I'm doing a fantastic job. Hopefully, great job. Okay. Ahmed Naifus, what about food technology? Hey, Ahmed, it's a very good field to consider in New Zealand. But again, food technology is definitely in our long-term skill shortage area in New Zealand. Uh, and my team tells me that you have already been in touch with my colleague Ruben, and that you have not been providing your documents. So I will not be able to give a lot of information in this particular instance, except to say, yes, it is a fantastic field and subject for technology. Uh, and yeah, all our students who came for food technology courses, and I don't mean just in the recent past, but I'm going back almost 12, 13 years back, they're doing extremely well in New Zealand. So I think it's a very good opportunity for you to consider. But it looks like you're not really responding to Ruben. So, Ahmad, if I can make a personal request here today in this session to please connect with Ruben and share your documents, because it's a free process. Just go ahead and share your documents, and we'd be gladly be able to help you. But very good choice for food technology. All our clients are doing really, really well. Okay, Preksha has asked a question, but she has not mentioned her telephone number. Mm, okay, she does say that she's going to apply through AJB next year. All right, Preksha, I'll take you up in good faith, and take it as a commitment from you that you're going to work with us whenever you're ready. And my team just confirmed that you're not in touch with us at this stage right now. But hey, look, yeah, if you're already doing your bachelor's in law and you want to apply for a master's in applied management next year, yeah, it's a good thing to consider, because you would already have a background in law. And then if you do a generic master's or PG diploma in applied management, and that'll prep you to get into a job in so many different areas. You could get into sales and marketing, sales or marketing, or administration or finance or human resources, and so many other aspects, strategy, aspects of business as a whole. So I think it's a good choice. Like I said, a lot of our students who have been here before and who've done courses in management have done well. So I would encourage you to, yeah, consider it quite seriously. In fact, I mean, come to think of it, I might actually be very supportive of your decision to do something in applied management rather than coming for law, because legal systems differ from country to country, and so although you've qualified in law from India, it will not be, those same laws will not apply here in New Zealand. So with that kind of a consideration, it might make more sense for you to consider again to applied management. And yeah, sure, you're going to switch your subject a little bit, but the fact is, what you learn is never going to go away anywhere. And whatever you learn, as a lawyer, I'm sure will also apply to you in your applied management going forward. Yeah, Preksha, whenever you're ready to work with us, we are happy to take you on, and I would be very happy, and my team would be delighted to work with you. And because I have been nice today and shared my information with you, I hope you'll be nice to us and work with us and come to New Zealand as an AJB student whenever you're ready. All right, cool. All right, Ahmad, I have already answered. Shashank Bharti says, Shashank says, I have got admit for PIMS, but heard that there is racism. One cannot find good job after graduation or can't get promoted. Is it true? I'm already in touch with your team. Um, and Shashank, this is important because I'm taking education loan. My name is Shashikant. Okay. Hey, Shashikant, thanks for your query. Very good. I'm glad you came on this chat today, and you're able to get it directly from your Shashikant. I've been living in New Zealand since 2001. Okay, so that's long. How long I have lived in New Zealand? I live here with my family, my kids, my wife, and a lot of good friends and people around. And I'll be honest, I haven't really encountered racism in New Zealand. Is it there? Yes, it is there. Is it crazily bad? No, it is not crazily bad. Is it subtly there? Yes, it will be subtly be there. But you, as a person coming from India, you know how particular we are about our regions, our languages, our religions, our castes, our creeds, and so many different, things. So I think it's human nature to do find those differences between one person to another. But like I said, I've lived in New Zealand since 2001 and absolutely no problem. I think a lot of this so-called racism we perceive will also depend on how we interact with the society we have now chosen to call our home or our new country or our society. So a lot of it will depend on that, Shashank. But again, like I said, a lot of our students have gone to PIMS, which for the a knowledge of others who are not aware of it is Pacific International Hotel Management, studies is what PIMS is, which is based in this beautiful city called New Plymouth. Fantastic city, very pretty and very picturesque. So we have not ever heard any adverse comments from any of our students who have gone to PIMS before. And we also have some of our students who are there at the moment, and some who have already passed out and well settled. So once you come here, we will connect you to them. And it's all about creating that network. And but don't worry too much about racism, because New Zealand is not a country where you see racism every day in your face. Sure, there will be the odd occasion when you might encounter something which comes across as racism. But did you see the way this country responded when recently there was that terrible terrorist attack in New Zealand? This whole country stood up as one and kind of expressed its solidarity with the Muslim community and all that. So yep, there will be the a few rotten bad apples, but don't worry too much about it. Overall, New Zealand is a beautiful country to be in. So you've made the right choice of coming here to this country, and through HIV, we will stand by you. So don't stress too much, Shashikant. Just continue with your process, and I hope to see you here in New Zealand very, very soon. All right, cool. We have somebody called Roy, who likes the word Roy so much that he has named himself Roy twice. I used to have a T-shirt when I was in college which said New York, New York. So nice they named it twice. So yeah, it reminds me of that. Okay, Roy says I have 7 years work experience in RAC mechanic in India. Now I have been working as an engineering technician in New Zealand. Can I claim my residency points? Hey, Roy, I'm honestly not sure what RAC mechanic stands for. Don't know. I mean, I'm not able to guess what RAC mechanic is, but if you are working as an engineering technician here in New Zealand, there is a very good possibility that you might be eligible to be able to apply for a resident visa. Best way to do that is to do a good formal assessment after gathering some documents from you and getting more information. And how do you share those documents? Just get in touch with Mary at the bottom. Mary is my senior colleague, and as well as a licensed immigration advisor herself. So you can connect with her on that number, and you can send her a text or give her a call. Mary works late into the evenings, just like myself, and because our majority of our team works out of India, so we are, good people, the ones living in New Zealand, and we want to have that solidarity with all our team members in India. So we sit up late and work with them while they all work in the daytime. But now you can connect with Mary and have a chat with her, share some information. We will do an assessment. If Mary is not able to do it herself as a licensed advisor, she'll check back with me or with Gisela, who is our other licensed advisor. And between us, we'll come back and my team just tells me RAC stands for refrigeration and air conditioning. Excellent. Thanks, Nishanti, for that. I should have guessed. I'm a little upset with myself because I pride myself on having really good general knowledge. So I'm very upset with myself. I'll need to brush up on my general knowledge. Adnan Kabir. Sir, can I get a PR after level 7 in logistics and supply chain? I'm a fresher now doing BBA third year. Looking for 2021 intake. Adnan, you will not get a PR as soon as you complete your level 7 course in New Zealand. What you've got to do is you've got to complete that course, get your post-study work visa, get yourself a job that's relevant to the course at the right salary and the right position, and then you will be able to apply for your residence. All right. So that's the way it works. So just completing the course will not necessarily get you to that point where you will be able to apply for a resident visa. So those are the steps you've got to follow. And because you are looking at your 2021 intake, stay in touch with our team, and we will also check whether what you're considering, which is the supply chain and logistics, is actually the right choice for you. Because I think I've noticed from my experience, a lot of you guys and girls tend to pick these courses and subjects which are in our long-term skill shortage list. And I think some of you live with the thought that if I do a long-term skill shortage list course in New Zealand, somehow automatically and very magically it will get me into my PR. It doesn't work like that. So stay in touch with us and we will take it forward from there. All right, cool. All right. Harris Harrix. Okay, interesting name. Harris Harrix. It's not often you get people who have an X in their name. So that's very cool, Harris. Okay, I got a feedback already about you, Harris. Hello, actually, I'm a graphic designer. I would like to migrate to New Zealand, also looking for a new job as graphic designer. Right now, I'm in Kuwait. I'm origin from India, Kerala, so I'm expecting your advice for the same. Harris, I think I've just explained. If you rewind this particular session, after it becomes a video and sits on this particular group, you can go back I think about 25-30 minutes where I explained in detail how the migration process works. When you're and I also if you also go to my YouTube channel or on and search, go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob New Zealand, and this face will pop up there and you can take a look at one of my most popular videos is how can I find a job in New Zealand and settle down there? And that seems to be a question. And I explained why it is very difficult for somebody who is not present in the country to be able to find a job here in New Zealand directly, because by and large, there's a very, very good supply of fantastic talent already present here in New Zealand who already have a legitimate and legal work visa to apply for jobs. And you're a person who is not even in New Zealand, you're somewhere in the Middle East. And if you're going to be applying for jobs here, the chances would be very, very limited. And which is where we advocate saying, hey, look, especially if you're a married guy, we say, how about your wife coming for a course, and how about you coming on a work visa, because the spouses will get work visa if your wife is taking up the right level of course, and then being onshore and getting that 1 plus potentially 3 4 years of work visa is where you can go and display your talent as a graphic designer. And a lot of our students who come into New Zealand for creative courses, including graphic design, are doing really well. In fact, my second student ever, when I started this particular business, was a graphic designer, and he's also been in New Zealand, I think, since 2004 now, and owns 2 houses and doing really well for himself. Great friend of mine today. So yeah, the scope is definitely there, but unless and until you're not in the country, it becomes very difficult, and which is why we strongly advocate the study plus settle pathway. Especially if you are a married person, we strongly advocate that your spouse take up the course and you come because you're seen to be a very competent graphic designer. Yeah, so that's the way you've got to plan it, Harris. Because yeah, I know everybody in the ideal world, yeah, you would apply for a job in New Zealand and somebody will give you a job and you can get a work visa and get on a plane and come here. But we do not live in an ideal world. That is the problem. And because we do not live in an ideal world, you will have to figure out those solutions. And that is where professionals like us, who are friendly and frank, we absolutely no nonsense from our side. We are so honest that I and my colleague Mary, we come live week after week. I come live on Tuesdays and she comes live on Fridays, so that see, hey, we can sit and have an open, honest talk, looking at each other in the eye, and give you our most sincere information. So, and our most sincere information to people who want to settle in New Zealand is this: is that if it was directly possible, why will we not do it? We are, after all, a business, and we would love to, earn some money from you guys who and girls who can migrate directly to New Zealand or find jobs directly in New Zealand. But because it is not possible, or it is so very difficult, we are suggesting other solutions to you guys. And if you are able to, kind of process that and see, okay, these guys are actually giving us a good solution, because there are good safety checks built into that process as well, where you can earn money while you're studying and after you complete, and all those kinds of things. I think you guys need to consider it seriously. All right, Harris. So yeah, unfortunately we do not live in an ideal world, my friend, but if you want to consider this seriously, because we've had a lot of success from our clients who've been in the Middle East and moved to New Zealand. They're doing exceptionally well. So don't miss the bus, get on that bus, and you might want to consider that pathway for couples, which is through the study and settle pathway. All right, cool. Radio. Okay, this is from Kailash Manikam. Kailash says, hi, sir, I'm Kailash. Is there any opportunities for being mechanical under designing oriented jobs? Okay, not very clear your question. It's a little vaguish. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hey, look, you are already a BA mechanical guy, and mechanical engineering, like a lot of other engineering occupations and professions, is in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. So we are constantly looking for people with engineering talent, whether it is design oriented or not. Is It's like a subset of your mechanical engineering, really. So it's like, are there jobs in a cricket team? Yes, there would be people wanting to join a cricket team. The subsets would be whether they want to be a fielder or a batsman or a bowler or wicket keeper or whatever. So I don't know if that's a good analogy, but so yeah, I think your overall background as a mechanical engineering in itself is good. And under that subset, will you particularly find something in designing? Depends on how good you are in that particular aspect. But overall, mechanical engineering is a good choice if you're considering coming to New Zealand. So please have a chat with our team. All right, guys. Dipesh asked me a question, no telephone number, so I'm gonna skip that. Neha Madhusudan asked me another question. Hey guys, how am I doing on time? I don't know. It looks like I'm already exceeded my time, but anyway, Neha says, "Hi sir, Neha here from India. I have applied for my visa on 28th of March. I have applied for a graduate diploma in tourism management at AIS Auckland Institute of Studies." Okay. All right, Neha, good. Am I supposed to answer anything there? Not sure, because you seem to be making a statement rather than asking me a question. And you have not confirmed if you have applied for your visa through AJV. I hope you have, Neha, because we would love to meet you and take you out for dinner and get you to meet the rest of our students. It's a nice big bunch of happy people, which is what we call the AJV funnel here in New Zealand. The word whānau is a Maori word which means family. So we actually have an exclusive Facebook group called AJV whānau only, where all our students hang out and kind of chat with each other and make new friends and stuff. So you haven't mentioned Neha, and unfortunately, I don't have the list of everybody. Um, who is applying. So yeah, but hey, look, if you're coming as an AJV student, all the very best. I look forward to meeting you along with my other colleagues and students. If you're not coming to New Zealand through AJV, good course choice, lovely institution. I have a lot of respect for AIS St. Helens. All the best, and I hope you do well. All right, cool. All right, my okay. I have been pinged by my team saying that time is up, which I normally indicate by doing that. I'll ring the bell saying time's up for the day. But I'm going to answer one question, which is always my style of after ringing the bell, I still do a couple of questions. So Swati Sri Pandey says, what are the chances of getting a job after pursuing master's in administration course? Because I already have 8 years of experience in India and I'm willing to relocate to New Zealand. And Swati, I have some feedback about you from my team saying you're already in touch with my colleague Jagrati, who is a fantastic advisor, by the way, and that you are not finalizing a course, nor are you sending your documents. So they are saying, please request to ask her to share documents to Jagrati immediately. So there's a complaint, Swati. So, okay, but you know what? Let's make a deal today. I'm going to give you a very good answer to your question. And if you're satisfied, please send your documents to Jagrati immediately. All right, deal? Okay, high five to that. Okay, cool. So, what are the chances of getting a job after pursuing master's in administration course? I would say good because you already have 8 years of work experience in India. And I can see from the way you have written your question that there is not a single spelling mistake there, and you are not typing it in the normal shorthand style of language that is developed now, which we use in texts and stuff like that. You have taken the trouble of writing good, proper English words and complete sentences. So it shows to me that you are definitely experienced and also a professional person. And your English is good. I can see the grammar and everything else is structured very well. And that is the key component, Swati, when somebody comes to an English speaking country like New Zealand, the English skill is something that is absolutely key. And that is, something I not only talk from my personal experience, but also from having dealt with thousands of students before. And the guys and girls who have good English skills are the ones who always stand out. So I can see that you already have a good English skill and you have 8 years of work experience. I don't have the time to get into your FB profile and see where you're working, but I'm guessing you're working with a good organization, which would have also instilled certain good values and processes and thoughts in your head as a professional. Like, for instance, today, when I'm sitting and doing this live session, a bit of Xerox is still talking out because that was my first job and I worked with them for 8 years, and a bit of that training still comes out in me. So I'm sure you're a well-trained professional, good English, and you're coming to do a master's course. We'll get your 3 years post-study work visa. And if you're coming to New Zealand through AJV, we are always there, as your guide and as, like your little circle of protection to network you and help you to kind of keep moving forward. Any queries about what will happen, what kind of visas and all that, we guys are always there. And that's the basic main advantage for people who choose to work with AJV, is that we are constantly there. And that's our promise to everybody who chooses to work with us, because there are a lot of good companies who can get you an admission and visa and put you on a plane and wave goodbye. But we are not just not only doing that, you're doing a fantastic admission visa, and our team in India will put you on a plane and wave goodbye. But there's a team here in New Zealand who will then again wave welcome to New Zealand and then pick it up from there. And but a lot of other companies will not do that. Once you get on that plane, you're done, you're dusted. They will not even bother getting in touch with you again. But we are very different, and that's where I think a lot of our students are really happy with us, and they also it's that those results are also showing. So I think you will do well if you come and do a master's in administration. Possibly you might want to look at not just a master's, you might want to look at some postgraduate diplomas as well. And yeah, hey, look, like I said, we are all here, but you will also have to come to the party, because we can't clap with one hand. You will have to also give me back my high five and send your documents. And I hope I have convinced you to do that. All right, guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else watching this, including my wonderful team. I always take an opportunity to tell them how wonderful they all are, and that's the reason we are such a happy bunch of people, and doing this fantastic work together. But thank you so much for joining this broadcast like every week, and we hope we are able to provide you with good, honest information, and we will continue to remain your friendly and frank New Zealand licensed immigration and education advisors. Till the next time, Kakite Ano, which is Maori for see you later, and Po Marie, which is good night. Thank you very much. Bye bye.